Hey, everybody, I'm back. In the beginning of the other part, the first part of the video, I realized when I watched back over it, you couldn't hear me talking that much. You heard most of my music, but at least it got the main point across of showing my books off and what Wicca books I may have and what my mom may have. I didn't really show much of my mom's, but the main point was my books. If you wanted to know any of my mom's books, you could comment. If you have any questions or anything like that referring to any of the books, I can look up any of your answers and do a reply to a video response or a comment. Right now, the second half of the video is mainly about my Book of Shadows and my religious reviews. And now I'm in my mom's room and she has lovely curtains up that she's so excited about having up now because she's decorating her whole place and she's all happy about it and everything. So it's a good thing. But okay, when I first started out with Wicca, I started out with this being my Book of Shadows. Cute little Lisa Frank cheetah Bible. So I still have a bunch of stuff in here that I'm trying to clean out and organize and just do different stuff in there, and some stuff is so old that it's actually sticking together a little bit. There's pictures that I've done when I was younger, I colored that, and I was going to use that representing water. And my son that I was going to represent as fire, but I didn't have a picture for air or earth. Once I find pictures like that, I'll probably color them too, and I wrote a picture up of what I chose as my god and goddess. I can't really see what I wrote, but that's alright. I have a picture of my god, who I picked with Eros, the goddess of love, which is also known as Cupid. And who I chose for my goddess is Vesta, who was a fire god. And my element sign is fire, so I figured my goddess can be about fire and my god would be about love, which is intertwined with how I feel and how I am too. So this is a bunch of paperwork on here, if I can get to the beginning of it. Okay, this is what I printed out in computer a long time ago of a hand fasting and general pagan hand fasting, which I was going to try to refer to this if I ever got married. I was trying to tie up little things, kind of write up my own wedding, which I did myself anyway, but I did it with my hand fasting book that I showed you earlier. I started organizing it to make it like dividers. Oh boy. And then I started out doing general information, but the altar pictures that I put there, I ended up cutting it out and I am using it in my new Book of Shadows. I've got color magic and tools and other magical things, which I've had all the list of the colors and the purposes and tools that you would use referring to Wicca. I have a whole section of casting circles. I have casting a circle in your hand, casting the hand of glory circle, casting the circle of mist, the ancestor circle of sand, casting the circle for goddess worship, and casting the circle for god worship. But this can be really good too, but I rather work with my god and goddess when I'm working with my rituals. But if you have to work with a certain god or goddess, this would be good to open up your circle with. Fertility goddess circle. We got the magic in the moon, which is a lot of your moon phrases, like wolf moon, storm moon, seed moon, the different kinds of moons and the months. I have the full moon ritual, which I wrote all that in here when I first used my book that I showed you earlier about the book that I used for religious rituals. What are good times to meditate during the moon? What else do I have here? Dark moon ritual, which I mentioned before in my other book, in the main book that I got it out of. I have spells to gain money, to protect an object, the glamour spell, which is also in Teen Witch book. So it's mostly everything that I wrote from there so far. Don't Tread on Me spell, which is in Teen Witch. I have a section on tarot cards, which I even wrote down the layout of my Circle of Witches spread for my Witches tarot cards. And I have the Celtic Cross spread. I have also the Planetary spread, which is also in Solitary Witch and Silver Ravenwolf. The Crossroads spread, which is kind of like a relationship spread where you see yourself in two different sides of your relationship. The relationship spread is another one almost like that. I have different, the Soul Dreamers reading spell, Star Guide reading spread, I think I said spell, I'm sorry, Wedding Toast reading spread, so that would be interesting. I haven't tried those yet, I just had them stashed in here, so. I got Just Say No spell. That, I really think you don't need a spell to say no. If there was a situation, you need to just be firm and say no. It's what you believe in. I don't really think you really necessarily need a spell for that. Maybe a confidence boost, because I'm shy too myself, and I don't usually like to be rude, and usually I say, I guess, yes to a lot of people, and I need to stick up for myself and say no once in a while, so I do need that confidence boost. I have an owl wisdom spell, which my power animal is an owl, which I had a really neat experience when I was meditating at my one apartment one night, and I was out on my porch with my altar, and I was just meditating, grounding and centering, and all of a sudden this owl just flew by my porch, kind of like at my screen, and just kind of right at me and just flew off. It was amazing, but it kind of like scared me a little bit too because it caught me off guard. But I also made this little ceramic like owl thing in one of my pottery classes in high school, that what we were supposed to do is take two pinch pots that we made and put them together and hollow out the bottom of it. So what I did was kind of like an Indian totem pole kind of thing, and I put the baby owl on top of the mother's owl's head, and I had the mother owl with the pinch pot put together. I put the wings, but when the wings broke off, and I actually painted the globe in the owl's eyes. I mean, I'm not that much of an artist, but it turned out good for what I believed in, I felt really proud with it. That sits on my altar sometimes too, not at this moment because I'm staying at my fiance's house, which is staying at his parents basically. My mom has a one-bedroom apartment, so it's kind of hard for me to get together my Wicca stuff and my altar. My mom's painting her altar black to match the rest of her bedroom stuff because she's doing her room oriental. So she's painting her altar black and putting a gold pentagram in the center of it that she's going to paint on. and that's going to sit in her room. As for mine, I don't have it all set up yet. I'm really into fairies a lot, so I painted a ceramic fairy that I don't even know where it's at right now. Maybe my mom has it put away. But I made the rings look fire-like with the reds, the yellows, and dashes of green around it because my Wiccan name is Fire Fairy. So I chose for myself. That's what I meditated on. And with it being, excuse me, with it being my fire sign and what I'm connected with, it just feels right to me. So, get back to this. Love spells, you really shouldn't do a love spell unless the other person knows what you're doing. So, but sometimes you want that love attraction, but you can't pinpoint to one person. You can do a love spell for love to come into your life. So I have a come to me love spell that I believe I copied from my mom's book, one of her books, which I have done, and if it brought in love into my life, then I'm very thankful for it. But okay, I got healing spells. I got an alley fix spell, which I've worked with kids in the preschool, and these kids love me to death, and I'm so connected with them because I'm a big kid at heart. And if they got hurt or anything, I'd run right to them, and just to make them smile too, I would do the alley fix spell, which I would hold my hand over what they hurt, and you would chant, alley fix, you're the fairy that I picked, come right quick. And it helps them forget about the pain too, and they're all like happy and they run off and everything like that, and I just feel like I did my job too, that it was something fun with them, and also my reaching out to them and in a caring way also. And I have a section on recipes that I don't have yet, but this is also my old Book of Shadows that I'm still getting into. I have a bedtime blessing, gift blessing, a meal blessing, personal journal book blessing, which I did write in my other Book of Shadows, which I will show you when I get done through this. Daily devotion, a prayer. I have the Wiccan alphabet, which I put into my other Book of Shadows. 13 Goals of a Witch, Witch's 10 Commandments. I have a lavender money spell. I'm so disorganized in this binder that I'm still trying to put together. To comfort after a death, which is, I haven't tried it yet, but I only had one family member that was close to me that did die, and we were real close to time, but the last thing that he said to me before, when we were both drinking and spending time with all our friends at the time and everything, he told me I should go back to school, which I have signed up to go online classes for college, and I'm doing it for the childhood education, so I can become a preschool teacher, possibly own my own preschool. Okay, I'm getting back off topic. I'm like, okay, anyway. I got the Song for the Earth, print that off online. The Blessing of the Goddess, the Witch's Call. I also have different job spells here that I really won't get into that right now. Love spells, which really shouldn't do, like I said, unless they know about it. I have, which every Wiccan should have, I think, in the Book of Shadows, is the Charge of the Goddess. So I would probably copy that in the newer Book of Shadows. because this one's just a mess. It's a bunch of papers, and I'm trying to organize it in a better way. Prayers to the Lord and Lady I also have. I have all kinds of fun little spells, psychic spells, lots of stuff here that I used to have from my ex-boyfriend even that he just left behind, so I saved. Because they're actually really good spells here. I have spells that dedicate your animal also. I have a list of what you should have in your witch's cabinet and different plants, herbs, devotion tools, like when I was talking before, I have a cat blessing ritual, which I've been studying Wicca since I've been 16. I'm 28 now, and I've been wanting to do my self-dedication into Wicca since I was young, but I've been studying, and it's better that you study what you're doing first and really fully getting into it. Like, you should always do research of anything that you believe in, Charlotte. I think that whatever you believe in is your calling. You study up on it. I mean, everything I think has its truth. I mean, if you're Christian and you believe that one of the churches actually had the crown of Christ and everything, and that's what you believe in, and that's you. If what's your faith. I can get into that in a little bit because I keep getting off topic. Just trail off. It's also part of me being a little shy and nervous because I'm talking to a camera right now, which is really supposed to be you, and just a little nervous right now, but I'll get out of that once I kind of grow with YouTube. I made this picture, and let me just trace it, because I'm not that great of a drawer, but I have my wizard and my dragon. I figured I'll put that in my book of shadows also. I have a fairy chant. Like I said, I'm very connected to the fairy folk. I have an eye-changing color spell, which that you have to be really mindset and really into meditation. Some of these spells are really hard that you have to be fully into it. If you can't meditate, like my mom doesn't really know how to meditate. She's the type that if she starts listening and gets soothed into it, she probably gets into a somewhat of a meditation state, maybe starts feeling the tingly feelings, but she ends up falling asleep. So she's not one for meditating. One of the oldest spells I have that I copied from a book, I don't remember which book though, I have the apple and the mirror spell, which a lot of apples are recycled, how can I say this? A lot of apples spells, I can't think right now. I have a credit card spell that if it's really good if I think if you're in debt and you just need that push to be like, hey, I don't want no more credit debt, not gonna have it. And then if you're a compulsive shopper, then maybe you do need the help and that boost that maybe you need the power of a higher being to help you, whether it's God or God and Goddess or whatever powerful being you look up to, that you just connect with them and they can help you, give you that confidence boost. Okay, this, still working on it, so it's kind of a little bit of work in progress. With my book of shadows that I'm putting together, I found the pictures in a magazine that I got in the mail that is from Peelmint Collections, which I love the stuff. I know it's so expensive, so I'd never buy probably, but I just love the pictures from it, so I cut them out, and I have Earth, Ale, Portal, the file, and the fairies there. I'm probably just going to take out some of the papers that I have and stuff them on here because I don't want to pull out when I'm showing to you what I have here. Probably little magazine clippings that I'm planning on gluing in here too. I have, okay, now I'll show you first. Don't know if you can see it very good. I have other fairies here too, and I have a picture in the middle, which is of two little girls dancing under the moon. Okay. And this is the book blessing that I have here from my other book of shadows that I have written down. These words heal in my mind alone, passing deep inside my bones. These pictures are in potency, are all of the substance of what is me. Beware the urge to I can't read. Sorry. Beware the usage to take this book or read it in some private nook, because its magic isn't thine, and I will know you've touched with mine. So, some people that are out on YouTube may believe they don't want to show everything in the Book of Shadows because that's what sells to them. And I don't mind reading my book blessings. If you have any questions and you liked it, then if you want me to send it to you, or you can copy it, or whatever, that's up to you. But I'm pretty open about myself, and whatever people ask me, I usually tell them. If I don't, then that's just me. But I'm open, so I'm willing to share with you my Book of Shadows. I don't mind that. It's still sacred to me. Whatever I don't want to show you, I won't show you. But I got my Book of Shadows picture here, where I have the goddess statue, 2 candles and a pentagram. This picture I have here, I got from one of my CDs that I've had in my fairy meditation CD, I guess you can call it. And I just love the picture because it's the file. It's kind of stalking out and a fairy is coming from it, so it's a fire fairy. And it says, I have known you before, I will know you again, our bond is eternal. I just thought that was beautiful. And also what I found in, I believe it is The Solitary Witch by Sybil Weaver, is a creation story. And I picked that up and I glued it into here. Certain things I think should be written out in the Book of Shadows, and certain things I think you can probably type it up and just put it in there. Whatever feels comfortable to you. I have a picture here of what I would probably refer to as maybe a goddess, and she's blowing bubbles, and it has different bubbles of, like, I believe it's a fairy riding on a horse. That could be like a form of earth that has like patches of green, like grass, and it looks like a boat flying into the sunset. That's probably some of them now. Then this picture here I had from my Shakira CD that I just thought it was amazing, and it just kind of touched me as kind of like how a goddess would be if she was stopping the beats of how she was making the earth. So I have that in as my creation story. I have another picture that I can you can see a little bit on her forehead. She may be like a goddess, and I think she has wings, so she could be an angel. And she has a big bubble and a butterfly. She's kind of like touching to her chest. This one here. This woman I have, she looks like she's holding a crystal ball. And at the end of my creation story, I have statues of the god and goddess. And then I go into the principles of belief, which I found this in a magazine. The woman sitting on a flower. I have a 13. To be a witch. To be a witch is to love and be loved. To be a witch is to know everything and nothing at all. To be a witch is to move among the stars by staying on earth. To be a witch is to change the world around you and yourself. To be a witch is to share and give by receiving all the while. To be a witch is to dance and sing and hold hands with the universe. To be a witch is to honor the gods and yourself. To be a witch is to be magic, not just perform it. To be a witch is to be honorable or nothing at all. To be a witch is to accept others who are not. To be a witch is to know what you feel is right and good. To be a witch is to harm none, which is very, very strong in my beliefs. I've never hurt anybody. To be a witch is to know the ways of the old. To be a witch is to see beyond the boundaries. To be a witch is to follow the moon. To be a witch is to be one with the gods. To be a witch is to study and to learn. To be a witch is to be the teacher and the student. To be a witch is to acknowledge the truth. To be a witch is to live with the earth, not just in it. To be a witch is to truly be free. I also have the Witch's Pyramid, which you can find in a lot of Wiccan books. Right now, I guess at that time, well, everything was secretive. During the burning times and everything, you would probably say to be silent. Usually, you can't go around blotting blah 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 about, hey, I just did this spell on Johnny for love, and keep on blabbing to everybody, because if you don't hold that in you and it's sacred, then it might not work for you. The goddess may think she's just lollygagging around and she doesn't believe it's true to her. So I think that's what to be silent doesn't mean that you can't share with other YouTube type people that are trying to learn. If you have a question, answer it. That's what I think. Real witches do not and do. I have that. I have pictures here. I have these pictures here that I got from Pyramid Collections. It's a little plaque that I do want to order at some point, but I don't have the money to get it right now. But one is always practice safe hex. Kind of funny. I see the Screw Up Fairy was here again, which I'm very into fairies. The middle one is Take a Breath, You're On Now. And the other one is Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. I love that quote. Another one is We may not have it all together, but together we have it all. I have Which is Which, try saying that 10 times fast, which is basically different excuse me, cannot talk with crap. traditions. There we go. Different kinds of Wiccas based on different countries, how they practice, like how the British are Celtic. I'm eclectic, so I mainly work with anything, really. Kitchen witch, satanic witch. The witches are not supposed to believe in Satan, but then you also have Satanists out there that, to each their own. If you believe in that, which I'm hearing about Luciferians too, which I dated one, but to each their own, it's your beliefs. I'm very open-minded about religion, so. And then there's solitary witches, which I usually work solitary because I just feel I connect with God and Goddess more. I don't really think I would feel comfortable working with a coven, which I was going to join with my one friend. He has typed up a little paper I have in my other binder here that is Welcome to the Coven of Clear Moon, which I don't know if there's another coven of the Clear Moon probably around somebody else, but this my friend had chosen, and we really kind of drifted apart a little bit, me and my friend, so we kind of, I just feel better working solitary. Learning to speak the lingo, which is in one of Silver Rainbow's books, which is all your like vocabulary words of different Wicca terms. I have the signs and symbols of the craft, which I have here. The top one is how to invoke, and then the bottom one is how you write your pentagram if you're banishing. The long rectangular diagram going down is like the different elements on how you're invoking and banishing. So it's the ill little fire and spirit. There's different symbols. Now. Different symbols like the spiral and the cross, triple goddess symbol, yin yang, 7-pointed star, which is really associated with fairies, the Jewish star, and all the other symbols that we use. I don't remember exactly how to pronounce it. Maybe TikTok should could. Okay. I would call it the Egyptian cross, but I can't really pronounce what it really is. Then I have the looking alphabet, and the alphabet going down and looking symbols for it. What your altar and altar blessings. I have altar blessing and a pound.